Right, how are we all doing? Right, today's video, bit of a random one, different from the workshop. Going fishing in Norway soon, so I'm going to show you what I think is the best way of spooling braid onto a reel. So here we go. Right, first thing we need is a saucepan full of hot water. Reason why I like to use hot water is it takes the memory out of the braid being spooled that size. And then once it cools down and it's on said reel, the memory will be for that. So first thing we do is drop the mono braid into the water, and we'll let that soak up for a little while. Right, now I'm trying to do this one-handed, the next bit. Find the end, put that there for a minute. Then with a saucepan lid that's got that little hole in it, you pop your line through. So we'll pop that through there. Oh, 2 seconds. Right, done it. So we're just going to let that sit in there for a couple of minutes, maybe 5 minutes. Let that soak up. Then we'll go to the rod. The first thing we do is feed that through the first eye on the rod, and then tie it to the spool. So we'll come back to that one in a second. Right, as you can see, there is the braid. It goes up through the top eye, back down, and it's tied onto the reel. My reel's lucky enough that it's got a rubber section for it. If you haven't got that rubber section, I'll show you what to do on the next part of the video. Right, next part of the video is reel on the line. So we'll push that right over the back. I'm not giving myself much room here, but what you want to do is, you might find you're best off getting a damp cloth, because you need to hold a bit of tension on the line for it to work properly. So there we go. Now, because the line is wet, the friction isn't too bad, not really burning too much. So this is the boring part. I think this reel holds, what have we got? We've got braid, so let's turn this around a bit. Right, that's mono, braid, £40 braid. This reel's going to hold 730 yards, but I'm not going to put that much on there. Because what I'm going to do is, when I get to the end, I'm going to fill it roughly where I want it, and then I'm going to put some mono on the top of that, ready for the next stage, and I'll show you why. Right, I'll do this and then we'll come back in a minute. Little close up of the line coming off the spool in the saucepan. Not very clear, not that you can see much, but you could see that the line is coming off in a straight line, parallel with the rod and the reel. It's not twisting and going all around, which helps prevent line twist. Which line twist doesn't really matter on the spool, it matters when you're casting. You don't want to get them loops in the line. So that is the benefit of doing it like this also. Right, we'll skip forward now, and I'll come back once we've got some line on the spool. Right, I've stopped here for a minute. I'm going to go through what I was saying earlier on, where I had that bit of rubber in the centre of my spool. What that does is it gives the braid something to bite to, so it doesn't spin on there. If you haven't got that, what you want to be doing now is getting some mono and joining that to your line, and then you want to spool on as much mono as you want, so you can use that as a backer. So once you've got as much as you want of that on, what you then do is get another empty spool, put that onto your reel, and then you spool all of this line, starting with your mono on, because obviously last thing on will be first thing on the new spool. So then you'll spool that onto the new spool, and again applying tension. Or if you're lucky enough to have a spare reel, what you could do is wedge a rod up, adjust your drag, so that gives you your tension, and you just reel that filled spool to the empty spool. I ain't going to do that because it's going to take ages. Well, I hope you liked it. Don't forget, like and subscribe, follow the journey. We're off to Norway beginning of March, so there's going to be more videos coming. So, see you guys soon.